In this video, we will be covering out why Button and Aqua Voice are the only two tools you need in order to start building software and vibe coding. What is vibe coding? It is building software using artificial intelligence. If you do not have any coding experience whatsoever, it does not matter. We live in the age of AI, and you do not need to be technical anymore in order to build out pieces of software. Button and Aqua Voice are the best starting points. I'm going to explain why, and we're going to get into it right now. And in this video, we are going to go full production. So we're going to be looking at authentication. How do you integrate login, signups, as well as monetization? How do we monetize the app by implementing something like Stripe, Lemon Squeezy, so that you can actually charge people for this application? We want to go fully functional so that it's super practical for you guys. Before we get stuck in, I just want to raise 2 points. The first one is I'm giving away some Perplexity Pro free memberships. If you go to this video, my AI gift to you, which I released a couple of days ago, the link will be in the description below and I'll pop it up somewhere here. I'm giving away 3 Perplexity Pro memberships. So if you want to win one, go check out that video. Enter. You just have to give me your email address and your name so I can contact you. And I'll be doing the draw real soon in about a week's time. So head over there and enter into that competition. And the second thing I want to cover is over 94% of the people that watch my channel are not subscribed. So I really want to ask you guys, if you get some benefit out of my channel, get some benefit out of this video, please consider liking and subscribing. It tells me I should continue down building out these type of videos, and it allows me, when people subscribe, when people like, to bring better and better content in the future. Okay, so cool, that's out of the way. Let us get stuck into the video. So vibe coding, the ability to build software using artificial intelligence by just feeling the vibes and coding along using natural language. Now, in order to vibe code, there are different AI softwares that you can use. There's different options, right? No code builders, if you will. So there's a bunch: Lovable, Bolt.new, Cursor, Windsurf. There's a ton. And Mike Builds I found on Twitter. Now, Mike put out this post, and I'm going to give him the credit to this, so thanks, Mike, on breaking it down on which AI coding tool is the best to use given your circumstances. And he did this post where he breaks it down and explains it like I was 5, right? Or like he was 5. And what he does is he breaks it down into making coffee. So Lovable and Bolt.new are your instant coffee, the easiest way to kind of get going. It's where you just literally put in your prompt, it builds the software, you don't have to care about the code, you get an output and you're good to go. You then move into something like Replit, which is like your coffee pod machine. So you have to know a little bit about the machine. So you have to kind of know, you have to put the pod in and then you have to close it, maybe have some water or milk connected, but then you press a button and boom, it gives you that output. So a little bit more you need to know to a degree. So it's a little bit of a step up from the Lovables and Bolt.news, Replits. And then a step above that would be your Cursors and Windsurf. And now this is not a perfect analogy, but your Cursors and Windsurf would be your actual granular coffee, right? Your actual full-on coffee machine, like a barista style. That's where you really need to know the technology and know how to make the coffee and know the product and know all those aspects. And the same when it comes down to coding. You know how to build. You need to know a little bit more about the code in the background and how to be a little bit more technical, because it's more of a technical program and software. You need to know how to switch between agents and chat if you're in Cursor, and there's a bunch of other components. If you care about the code more, Cursor and Windsurf would be your best go-tos. Now, I love this post by Mike, but I think he's missing one like essential AI coding tool, and that is Button. I believe Button is your best starting point. When you want to create a full piece of software, Button guides you along in such a way that it holds your hand throughout the journey, so much so that you can't really screw it up. I'm going to show you how. So that's the first reason why we're using Button. Second to that is Aqua Voice. Aqua Voice is an AI dictation tool. Back in the day, you would code because you had to understand a coding language, Python or JavaScript or whatever it is, and you need to know and understand that coding language in order to code. We've moved into vibe coding. Vibe coding is where I type in my prompt. So I'm going to say, for example, if I go to Lovable, I've got this prompt box where I'm going to say, I want to build a software as a service that whatever. And you would like go along and type, and you'd say, okay, I kind of want to build this, and you have to type it out. Aqua Voice is an AI dictation tool that allows you to talk, not type, but talk. And what it does is it uses AI to understand what you mean to say, not just transcribe what you're saying. So I'll give you an example. Let's go back to Lovable quickly. We'll move into Data Button, but I hold down the Control tab. I want to build a software as a service that will allow me to, it's an invoice tracker because I'm a plumber and I want to track invoices that I send to clients, and I want to understand who's paid and who hasn't. And I want it to have a modern, unique, sleek design. Yeah, let's go with that for now. So just by talking, it gives it back in perfect English. In order to type that, it will take me so much longer. So what we're going to do is we're going to combine Data Button and we're going to combine Aqua Voice together, where we're going to be able to basically speak into Data Button instead of typing, because I believe voice is the future. And when you're talking, you're a lot more natural and you get your intent across a lot more. So that's what we're going to achieve by using Aqua Voice, and we're going to use Data Button. If you want to know how to install Aqua Voice as a tool, I've got a video on that I'll link in the description below. I'll pop on screen right now. You can go check out so you can see how to actually install it and pricing and the whole lot. But we'll just get straight stuck into using both Data Button and Aqua Voice right now. Alrighty, so head to Data Button, you sign up and you'll log in. Now, what you'll do is you'll go hit New App, right? And it says describe your app, what it does, and who it's for. So what are we going to build? I was thinking about an idea the other day, which is, as a YouTuber, one of the things I do is I create my own thumbnails. And once I've created a thumbnail, I kind of want to see how it compares to other people's thumbnails, or how it would look on the YouTube home screen or home page. What I would want to see is the video that I'm going to post with my title, with obviously my information, and then my thumbnail. How does it kind of compare? How does it look? Does it pop compared to the other ones that you'll just see on the homepage? And it allows me to kind of improve that design. So that's what we're going to build. So when it comes to Data Button, we're going to go there and we're going to open up Aqua Voice by clicking the Control key on my keyboard. I want to build a thumbnail viewer that allows me to basically have like the YouTube homepage loaded up, and then I can upload my thumbnail and it will place it into the homepage, so I can compare what it looks like compared to like a randomized set of thumbnails around in the same kind of genre. So what I'll do is I'll also upload a image of the YouTube homepage, and then the ability here would be for me to upload my thumbnail, have my name of my channel, the name and title of the video, so that I can see how it compares as it would hypothetically on the YouTube homepage when compared to other videos and other creators. Cool, boom. And you can see here Aqua Voice literally just take that garbage I just spoke and was the oohs and ahs and ums and everything, and going back on what I was saying and changing my mind, and it consolidates it perfectly into, yeah, that's exactly what I wanted to say. I want to build a thumbnail viewer that allows me to basically have like the YouTube homepage loaded up, so forth, so forth. What I'm going to do is I'm going to say continue, and then it says here, upload what you have so far, requirements, user story, specification, quotes. All we've really got to go off is the YouTube homepage. So I'm going to take a screenshot if I can remember how to do that. Cool, our screenshot is there. So if you do have any specifics, if you have like a business plan or mocked up Figma designs or user stories, any other requirements or specifications, you can upload that at this point. But for now, we've only got that screenshot in the prompt, so let's see how we go. I'm going to say continue, and this is share your design inspiration. So I'm going to re-upload the YouTube screenshot. I'm going to continue. Now, what I love about Data Button, this is why I say it's the best starting point for someone who's just getting going with vibe coding or using AI with no-code builders in order to build software, is it asks you what you need, right? So what integrations do you need? Do you need authentication, which is login and sign up pages? So allow users to log in and sign up to your product. So yes, we want other people to be able to use this for their creations and their thumbnails. So we're going to say yes, and I'm going to say, okay, let's use Firebase Auth, which is native to Data Button. So we're going to say yes, I need authentication. We want to store and organize text-based information like user profiles and settings. Yes, we want to do that. So we're going to use Firestore. And then do we want to make payments, or do we want people to be able to make payments? Yes, we want to monetize this application. Maybe we charge them $5, $10 a month in order to use this. So, and create like a premium and a free version. So yes, so let's use Stripe for payment. Store large files like images. Potentially, yes, let's do that. And then we're going to say, let's start. So now what it's going to do is going to take in all that information, the prompt, the YouTube image, our specifications to monetize and so forth, and it's going to create a minimal viable product for us. And it's going to run through these steps as we go. What I like about this is you're not just starting with the prompt and it gives you something that looks like half-baked, and then you kind of like, I don't really know what to do now. I want to monetize it, so do I prompt that? With this, it's a lot more structured in Data Button. And you combine that with like something like Aqua Voice, where you just kind of speak in your mind with that initial prompt. And as you go through this, you click, 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 and then you speak a little bit and you build it out as you want to, which I think it makes it really, really awesome. So on to our next step here. Our plan is to build Thumbnail Spot, which is a fairly okay name. Build the MVP. We haven't got started yet. Move a task to in progress to kick off the project, or let me know if you want to adjust the plan. So what it's done is it's acting as like your real AI assistant here. It's not just starting to code. So what it's saying is here, these are your to-dos, right? So design and implement a landing page, then install and configure the Firebase extension for authentication and so forth. So you can then trigger any of these tasks to go off of. Now it says here, hello Jagger, welcome to Data Button. I'm excited to help you build Thumbnail Spot, your YouTube thumbnail comparison tool. I've prepared an implementation plan for your MVP based on your requirements. Looking at the task list, I suggest we start with your first task. This will give us a solid foundation, yada, yada, yada. Would you like me to start working on that? So all we're going to do is we're going to come there. We're going to say start task. We're going to click. That's it. We're not doing anything else but that. So let's click, and it's saying, yes, let's start working on the MYA1, right? So it's now breaking it real up. It's got the plan, got all the files, and we're just kicking back and we're watching it build. All right, so I'm going to jump to once we have an output from this step, and then we'll build it as we go, and we can execute each task as we go. It's gone through its process and it's given us a response, but it says here, would you like me to deploy the app so you can see how it looks? Or would you like to make any adjustments to the design first? All right, so what we want to do is we want to come over to preview and look how cool this looks as a landing page. Optimize your YouTube thumbnails for better engagement. Your thumbnail, and obviously these will be the others. Try it now. Our thumbnail spot works. Why content creators love thumbnail spot. Ready to make your thumbnails that convert. Join, get started. And it's a beautiful landing page. So I'm like, okay, no, this is cool. I'm happy with that. So mark as done. That is our first step. Now let's come back to our plan. Now, next one is to install and configure Firebase extension for authentication. So yeah, we want users to be able to authenticate. So let's start that task. And we're going to just click through this as we go. All right. So now we're going to do our authentication. So to set up Firebase, say add Firebase within Data Button. It then gives you all of this that you need to follow. Easiest way to do this is just hit the Firebase console. It will bring you to Firebase itself. That is where you'll set up a new project. I've just called it Thumbnail Spot. And then what you want to do is you want to come to project overview, go to project settings. You'll come to the general page here. You'll have your project, and then there'll be an ability to add an app. So if you say add an app, you'll see something like this. You want to create a web app. So you want to hit this button over here. There you'll create, if I do that, there you'll just add a name. So you can call it the same as your application, and you will create a application. You then come down to this piece of code over here, and this is your Firebase config. All you're going to do here is you're literally going to copy these details. You're going to come back to the Data Button and you want to paste that in. So actually, easiest way would be to just go and copy the entire thing, come back to Data Button and replace that entire thing with the updated Firebase config. Say install Firebase authentication or Firebase config, and then will basically create a login, a logout page, and it's obviously just creating that without us having to do anything except set it up in Firebase, copy the config, and boom, you are good to go. Cool, and just like that, it says your app is protected, Firebase connection tested, 3 out of 4 passed. I can see that it is partially installed. However, there's an error with the Firestore connection. Let's continue setting that up. So it's going to go ahead and set up Firestore, which is actually part of MYA8, which is going to set that up for saving user thumbnails and projects. But you know, it's picked up that we need to add that, so it's going to go and do that for us over there. Okay, so it's saying that MYA2 is complete, so the installation for authentication. So what we're going to do is we're going to come back to preview. Let's just close that. And then we're going to set up, basically, if we go to sign in, it says here, cool, you can sign in with Google or with your email. So let's try ahead and go ahead with Google. Cool. We just need to enable it within our Firebase project. So what you want to do is you're going to come to authentication. You want to go to sign in method, and then you want to basically enable that additional providers Google. You want to go and say enable that users are able to with Google sign in. So save that. That's as easy as that. Cool. So that's enabled. We can come back to our project. Let's go back to home. Let's go sign in. Let's say with Google. Let's try this again. We'll just do it with my account. You want to say continue as you would. You can make this look a lot cleaner. Cool. And then you can see Jagger is signed in, or I actually signed up and then I signed in over there, and we are now able to sign in. Cool. So I'm going to say yes, market is done. Okay, cool. So that's done. So let's go back to our plan. Now we've got our third step, which is create the thumbnail, upload, and preview components. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to just say, yes, please. Cool. And there you go. We're going to just go say send. In the meantime, I just wanted to highlight with Data Button. You can see here, it wrote a piece of code and then it says code writing failed. And then what it does is it actually automatically attempts to fix that code. Something like Lovable will pop up and will say, okay, there's an error. And then you'll have to say, okay, try and fix the code. That's the one issue I find with Lovable. And two is whenever you have to kind of refactor code or refactor code, you have to like basically code gets too long. You kind of ask it to optimize the AI to optimize the code. You have to do that manually every single time, and it kind of becomes a little bothersome. So with this, you're kind of like sitting back and just kind of watching it go through these steps, fixing errors, optimizing code all by itself, which I really, really like. Okay, so it says that our YouTube upload is, our thumbnail upload is ready. So if we go to preview, come to our dashboard here, we say try now. Cool, upload thumbnail, perfect. I think I actually have a few saved. Boom, okay, cool. Build with AI, that's done. I'll just put in my own name here. This is Jagger Belagata. Genre, cool, technology, boom. Okay, so that's done. And then let's say test thumbnail. So this is uploading. Okay, so the upload is not working for some reason. And there's a thing here, which is if you look at the other ones that it compares to, this is like not relevant. You can't even see that. Can't see that. They're using like stock images. I wanted to actually connect to my Google account and therefore my YouTube channel, and then basically like log into YouTube and would bring up like really relevant videos that I would usually see on my homepage, or at least that people would see in the AI sphere. So maybe instead of genre, it actually uses the video title and then searches for similar videos and, you know, compares those to that. So we're going to come back to our chat over here. We're going to say, once I click test thumbnail, it just stays at an uploading state. It doesn't actually upload the image, it seems. So please fix that. In addition to this, the thumbnail images and titles that it compares to are not relevant. I wanted to take the video title that I give, and I wanted to actually do a live search within the YouTube and show me similar videos in at least that realm that take the content genre as well as the video title, which is really important, and gives me videos in that niche where I would be compared to in a realistic state. Cool, we've done that there. So I'm going to do that and I'm going to send that message. Okay, so it says, I understand the issues. Let me fix both the upload functionality as well as the YouTube search integration for more relevant comparisons. Okay, so thought for a moment, and what we need to do is actually provide our YouTube API key to enable searching for relevant videos. It actually gave us the link to follow, so I'm going to go there and I'm going to basically create an API key that I will then input into this. I'm just not going to show you that because I don't want to share my API keys, but let's jump to that component once it's done. What you'll do is you'll actually paste your API key over here, and you can see it's actually hidden, and then you say send, and what that does is it actually sends the API key straight to the backend so that it can integrate with YouTube. Okay, so it says everything should be working now, so let's refresh. Cool. Now we're going to do this. We're going to select the file, add that. How to build a web app using AI. Cool. And channel name. And we can do our genre. Now it says how your thumbnail compares to, cool, we've got an AI-driven development. We've got a short there. We kind of want to maybe filter out the shorts, but we can do that. This is cool. That's pretty cool. Test your thumbnail. And then if we go and change like the title, so if we said how to make pancakes, you can see it's obviously picking up a pancake tutorial. So it's all based on your title, which is pretty cool. How to build a web app using no code and artificial intelligence. It's not a really good title, but it will give us what we need in terms of no code. And then if we say test thumbnail, it should be uploading. Okay, so I think we're still getting an issue with the upload. So I want to come to our chat. And so when I select test thumbnail rather, the is uploading, but nothing actually uploads. What I want it to do is I want to actually see I want to be able to have maybe like a side pane where I'm performing these tasks of like uploading a thumbnail, setting the title, and then, saying once I click test thumbnail, I want to see like a YouTube homepage, and one of those thumbnails will be mine, and all the rest will be relevant thumbnails, and compare that to how it would look from a homepage perspective, because a lot of views come from people selecting from their homepage. Okay, cool. And let's wait and see what happens. Okay, so let's see how this new functionality works. If we say try it now. Okay, so it's a little bit different. We can still upload our image. Build a web app using no code and AI. Cool. Channel name, at least that's saved. Jagger, technology. Cool. So test thumbnail. Okay, so now you can see home, how it appears. So that's how our thumbnail, we might have to just remove this thing that says your thumbnail, but you can see how it will kind of compare to some of the other ones over here. Need a little bit more variety, but it's working. So you can kind of have a look and say, okay, maybe I should make the logos bigger, or maybe I should make myself bigger. Maybe I just should have from my shoulders upwards. It pops a little bit more, like maybe like these guys have had, so instead of having my whole body in the shot, I should do that, because these ones pop a lot more than mine does. And you can go ahead and use that. So it's definitely working how we want it to, and that's pretty cool, man. Okay, so we can go ahead and mark this as done. So MYA3 is done. Then we've got a couple other to-dos here. That's implement channel and video input form, but a whole bunch we can still do. And this is cool because you can kind of go through step by step through the plan that Data Button has put together for you in order to build out your minimal viable product. The one thing I want to show you guys is how to monetize this application, which is Stripe, right? Stripe Payments or Lemon Squeezy or one of these payment platforms, which we actually don't see in the MVP steps here. So what I want to do is actually want to say, discuss the plan. So I want to discuss the plan for building the app. Let's go through the plan and make sure we have the right tasks. So it said here, cool. Okay, let's review. Reading task list. Here's a review of what we've done. Remaining tasks. It's giving us a whole bunch of information. So I just want to say here, could we prioritize to focus on implementing Stripe in order to monetize the application? Have a free version that maybe allows you to upload 3 thumbnails, and then a paid version that gives you unlimited access, and that we can test using Stripe and do an implementation. Cool, sorted, hit enter. Cool, it's thinking about that. An excellent prioritization. Monetization should definitely be a focus, yada, yada, yada. Would you like me to create these as a formal task in the system? Yes, please. Cool, that's sorted. Okay, now our plan over here, our to-do should change. Yes, create task, cool. Perfect, it's given us set up Stripe integration basics. So it's really cool because you can kind of leave this. One of the things I found when I'm iteratively building with a no-code platform, say I'm using like a bolt.new and I've built up something and I've got it there, and then I leave it for like a few weeks or 2 weeks because I'm busy with other stuff, and I come back, I'm like, what did we last implement? And you can always ask for a summary, but I find with this, you've got the plan, so you can go and say, okay, cool, that's done, and we still need to do all of these aspects. Cool, sounds good. So we're going to create another task here, implement a subscription tier model. And it's also asking us for another thing over here. I think this is create upgrade flow and Stripe checkout integration. So wants to set up Stripe, wants to implement subscription tier models, and then create a upgrade flow and Stripe checkout integration. And then I've got another one here, implement subscription management features. So you can actually change the subscription from I guess a back end. Cool. These are great. Could we actually prioritize focus on Stripe next, please? Cool, absolutely. We can start working on MYA9. You can see that's moved to in progress. I just love how easy it is to work through this and how systematic it is. Okay, so it's creating a new API for Stripe integration. Cool, so what we have to do now is get our Stripe secret key. So what you want to do is you want to head over to Stripe, go to APIs, and get the secret key from your API key. Again, I'm not going to show that because I don't want to share my API keys, but you can literally go to Stripe, go to test mode, come down to developers, go to API keys, and create one, and then copy it across and paste it straight in. If you need some help, there are some videos on my channel that I've looked at Stripe with Lovable, but it's very, very similar in terms of getting to Stripe and getting the API keys. So really, really simple. Cool, I'm back in Data Button. I've copied the secret. I'm going to send that through. There you go. Cool. And it's taken that through. And then it's asked here for, please provide your Stripe webhook secret. This is needed to verify the webhook. You can go to developers webhooks. After creating a webhook, you'll see a sign-in secret that should be provided here. So go ahead and do that. Cool. So you'll just go to developers webhooks, copy your secret, paste it in there, send that through. And then it will create a front-end component to interact with the subscription API, which will set up the ability for us to actually get people to subscribe, go to Stripe, pay us on a recurring monthly amount of $5, $10, whatever you set it at, and you can start making some money with something like this thumbnail tester. Okay, so that's done, but it looks like the subscription plans aren't loading. So there's an upgrade button, but the subscription plans are not loading. Please help. Okay, so let's see what it says. Thinking. The user's reporting. Cool, I'll help you troubleshoot that. So it's going to help us troubleshoot that, and then we can see how we go. Okay, so making some further progress here, I've implemented another one of our MVP tasks that has to do with setting up the actual components of our checkout. So if we say, so for example here, subscription currently free. There's 3 free thumbnails we can test. If we go to upgrade, it says upgrade to premium. We can go and say upgrade now, but now we want to integrate the actual checkout with Stripe. So I'm literally going to do that. Yes, please. Okay, so we've asked it to do the Stripe checkout, and hopefully that will give us or allow us to actually go through to Stripe to checkout. Okay, so what we need to do is actually go and set the webhook up quite properly. So I've actually asked for the webhook from Data Button that we can then set up in Stripe. So you want to copy the snippets and then go to Stripe, create add destination, and you want to set that up and say select all events, which will include what we need. Go to webhook endpoint. You want to add in that endpoint over there, and you want to say create destination. We then want to go and say reveal our secret and copy that signing secret, and then say, okay, can I please update my webhook's signing secret, please? And we should be able to update the webhook secret to the new one that we've created. I was using an old one, which was a Superbase one, and we should update it to Firebase. Oh, sorry, to Data Button. Okay, so we need to go to config, secrets. Okay, so there we go. We can go to Stripe webhook secret. That is in the secrets tab of the settings. Come over here, paste that. All sorted. Okay, I've updated it. Please try and preview the application again and see if Stripe is working. And finally, the last thing you want to do from a Stripe perspective is come to payment links, create a new product, create a new payment link, and in that product, so in this case, we'll just call it test 1 at $9.99 a month. We just go in here, you then click into the product itself, and you'll get a price ID that we'll have to then copy in and provide to Data Button. Okay, cool. So I prompted for the price ID and we've got that there. So we want to copy that in and then we want to send that, and that will update the pricing of the product within Stripe. So when we click to go premium, it will be linked to that product and that price ID. Okay, so let's see if this works now. So if we go to try it now and we come to upgrade to premium, we can say upgrade now, it should link us to Stripe. It does. It's a different price, but that doesn't matter. Cool. And if we say subscribe, this should be, obviously it's in test mode, so it doesn't really matter, but this should subscribe us so that we can test that this has worked. Processing. Cool. We got a green tick mark. It's bringing us back to refreshing the page. Subscription equals success at the top, so that's a good sign. Okay, cool. And saying page not found, so it needs to link us to make us a premium user, and that would be our next step.
Cool, I'm back in the dashboard here, and I've said that we're not getting the redirection properly. So it did say here, I see that we've made good progress, but we need to ensure the payment success redirection works properly, and it's looking into building that out and making sure that once we have an approval from Stripe, we come back to a successful premium page where a user now has premium access and that they can actually manage their subscription within the dashboard. Okay, cool. So all out the details again. We are processing in Stripe, and we're going to see if it redirects us. Okay, so that's approved. Subscription equals success. Alrighty, and you can see over here, subscription is set to premium. Thumbnails, we have 0 made of Affinity. So that's pretty cool, and Stripe is operating as we expected. And there we go. That is the video, everybody. Building out a fully functional application that you can monetize tomorrow using 2 tools, Data Button and Aqua Voice. It makes it super easy, super simple, super straightforward. I really hope you guys got some benefit out of this video. If you did, please consider liking and subscribing. It does heaps for the channel. And as a final little gift from me to you, I am giving 20% of a discount towards Data Button. Jagger20 is the coupon code. I'm going to pop it on screen here. There is I'll mention it all in the description below, and I'll give you a link to Data Button so you can sign up. I think it's $20 for the pro version, and yeah, with 20% off, you get like $4 off, so it's like $16, and definitely worth it if you want to start building out applications, which you can do in like an hour, 2 hours. You can get something up, an MVP, and you are good to go to start building towards that startup, that piece of software, whatever you want to build. You can with the use of AI in today's age. I will see you guys in the next video. Cheers.